So a bit of an update from Manx Grand Prix 2023. Have a little look through how the boys have been getting on, what we've been dealing with, and how the week's gone so far for us as the TMs. Let's get straight into it. Yeah, so we find ourselves almost in the blink of an eye at Thursday of practice week, and I said it at TT and I say it every year and I sound like a broken record, but it comes and goes so quickly. You get into it, you get the first couple of nights, and next thing you know, tomorrow's the last day of practice and we're going racing. And maybe it's exaggerated even more at Grand Prix because the sessions tend to be shorter, especially in the evening because we don't have as much light. So that makes it feel like it's even more condensed. But yeah, some amazing times got in. Obviously, the TT guys on the classic super bikes, well up to speed, loads of laps at TT, and no surprise the speeds they're doing. But the newcomers at the Grand Prix, first night of practice, I'm checking through the times, and Joe Yearsley's banged in nearly 115 on technically like his first lap, and it's like it's really impressive. You know, if he was doing that at TT, it would make headlines. So fair play to him. And then yesterday during the afternoon session, he's knocking on the door of 120, and he's done 5 laps. That's amazing. And I've spoke to a few people about it, and all they've really seen is the times, and go, that's too fast, too soon. But the kid can ride. He can really ride, and everywhere I've seen him, he looks safe as houses. So no one should be telling him, you've been too wild, or you're going too quick, or you're trying to run before you can walk. Because looking at him, he isn't. He's got a superbly prepared motorbike there, a brilliant team around him, and the kid's got talent. And I love watching these lads come through because they're the next Nathan Harrison. They're the next kid who's come to the Grand Prix, taken it really seriously, prepared themselves really well, got great machinery, great team. And they've done the homework, and they're going on track, and it's all coming together. It's all paying off, and no doubt he'll be at the TT next year, and he'll be knocking on top 20 time on the leaderboard for Supersport, and he's one to watch, and not just him. Marcus Simpson as well, another local. We expected to go well, and he is. Like Dave Rugby too, well up there, and really impressive times from these guys, and they've got good machines, and really, really impressed. We expected them to be fast, but not this fast this soon, and fair play to them. They're really, really going well. Obviously, in terms of the things we've been up to, it's been a bit busier than it was at TT, and that's in terms of serious incidents and minor ones as well. I've spoken about this previously, and we do see more minor incidents at the Grand Prix, just through lack of experience more than anything compared to the TT. But there's more bikes out there, the busier sessions, and I went to an incident at Sarah's Cottage the other day where 2 bikes had come together, and they were both fine. One had a small cut on his leg, one of the newcomers, but a 250. One of the more experienced guys on 250 had caught him up before the Glen Helen section, and it's not the easiest place to pass, obviously. And as they've come out of Glen Helen, he just wanted to just stay wide and just zip up inside him going into Sarah's. And the newcomer's probably on his 3rd lap, and he hasn't taken the predicted line that the more experienced guy on the 250 had expected. And they've come together, gone into the wall. Damaged bikes, but not damaged bodies, and that's always a good sign. But they're the kind of incidents we see quite a bit of at the Grand Prix. Obviously, we've had the serious ones as well, and for obvious reasons, can't go into details of those. But yeah, they're always difficult. They're no easier to take because it's the Grand Prix than the TT. Not that anyone would assume that, but sometimes when it's lesser known names, it's not as big a news, if you like, and it definitely isn't any smaller event for the family and friends of those people. So they're always tragic, but they've been dealt with really well by everybody who's been involved with the marshals and the medical side and things like that. But one thing we see loads of at the Grand Prix compared to the CT is retirements, observations, and and having to black flag people. So as a travelling marshal, you take the technical officials course. And technical officials are basically the new word for scrutineers. So when you see all the bikes rolling up to the scrutineering bay at the grandstand and getting a pre-event check before they go on the course, we take the same qualification as they do. We're qualified technical officials. And the main reason for that is not so we can help out the grandstand if they're short, but if there's a reported rider on course for anything to do with anything that might look loose on the bike might be smoking, it could be a piece of something hanging off, whatever it may be, something loose, we're the points where the bikes can be brought in. So they've got the new black flag system now where it displays the number instead of us having to like write them on a chalkboard and run a marshal down the road. So we get them in and we check them. So for instance, last night we had one reported of a loose belly pan, came into me, and on some of the older bikes the belly pan gets really close to the ground. It's just the way they sit, and he's gone through the bottom of the bray. He's grounded out, and it's a belly pan that's been repaired a couple of times before, and it was just the latest piece on there, which was kind of just cosmetic really, just to keep it nice and flush on the bottom. That had been caught, and it was hanging down as a flap, and obviously when he gets banked over and marshals see this thing hanging off, we bring him in and we check it. But structurally it was fine, he carried on. But we'll get it for all sorts, and obviously with classic bikes there's so much more scope for mechanical failure. We get loads of oil leaks, things are always boiling over, overheating, there's loads of issues with things. I spend most of my practice time at Ballacrane, and it's probably the most commonly retired spot, twofold, because if you've got a problem it shows up in the first 6 or 7 miles, and that's your first place to sort of get off the course while sort of testing, to see if your bike's okay. And it's good access for their teams to come pick them up if they need to get out for a later session. So if they feel they've got a problem and they're coming towards Ballacrane, instead of turning right and going and getting stuck in Glen Helen for the night, pull in a Ballacrane, either check it or retire it and get yourself back. So within, could have been no more than 5-10 minutes of the first session starting yesterday, we had 7 bikes in at Ballacrane all retired, trying to get back. And a few more who will pull in with an issue that they're not happy to stay on the course with, but they'll take themselves back on open roads on the race bike, and they're fully insured to do that, they're allowed to do that, there's not a problem with that. It's good of them that they know maybe the bike's misfiring a little bit, something like that, and it's not safe to be on the competitive course because obviously it's unpredictable when it's going to cut in, cut out, so they get themselves off open roads, get themselves back. But yeah, people are talking about the bikes again. Same bikes as TT, like I said in previous videos, you haven't seen them. It's been sat in the garage since the end of TT. We've had them out for a couple of little things, but mainly just been having a well-earned break before Grand Prix. Yeah, so we're going to go again this afternoon. The weather looks good again this afternoon. I'm not exactly sure what it's like tonight, so we're trying to get a double session in again today. This afternoon, then open up around tea time, get everyone home, whatever they need to do. Practice again tonight, and all being well, we get 2 good sessions in today, then afternoon practice again tomorrow, and the boys will have had some good practice there before we go racing. The first year I did it as a newcomer, I think I only did 6 laps in practice because of weather and red flags, and people's memories are short and they think it's the worst year ever, but it definitely isn't. It definitely isn't the worst year ever for practice. So yeah, we'll just a little update. Main thing is the speed of those newcomers, just absolutely amazing, and good luck to all those boys. It's shaping up for a really, really good race for the senior and the junior as well. Like this, all classes look tight. I think we've got last night. I think there was 7 lads in the senior separated by 10 or 11 seconds, the top 7, and like not even a tenth of a second separating the top 2. So it's shaping up really good. I'm looking forward to it. We'll try and get another one done after the first set of races and keep you updated, and we've got a few other things coming out as well. So thanks a lot, we'll see you in the next one.